Hey, how's it going everybody? I am The Raw Deal, and in today's video, I want to talk about what I envision the future to hold for this channel, and hopefully, this will be the beginning of a discussion that will enhance the value all of you receive from the content you consume here on YouTube. I've never really seen myself as a full-fledged content creator, but if that were to change, I'm not sure where I would want to focus my efforts. I enjoy playing many different genres of video games, but it seems like the YouTube algorithm doesn't like promoting channels that post variety content. I probably have a much larger fan base if I picked one genre of game to play and just grinded that out, but I get bored easily, and repeatedly playing a game that I don't enjoy just because I'm good at it sounds like some monkey's paw bullshit to me. I almost feel sorry for some of these career content creators when their games die, but at the same time, fuck them, because they only do this for money and not the love of the game. So actually, I guess I don't feel too badly about that after all, never mind. Maybe if I was doing sponsored playthroughs, I could put up with playing a trash video game for a few hours, but the only way I can think of to make that enjoyable is to make fun of the game while I'm playing it. So yeah, maybe I will start doing things like that, because ever since I bought my PlayStation 5, I've been trying to find some new games that I can get into, but there have been very few new releases this generation that have been able to meet or exceed my expectations. Believe it or not, I'm actually excited to play the next Call of Duty game coming out. I know it's popular to dunk on Activision and COD right now because multiplayer matchmaking sucks and Battlefield 6 just released, but I really enjoyed the Black Ops 7 beta. I only played maybe 4 hours of the multiplayer, but that short amount of time actually made me fall in love with the FPS genre once again. Ever since I dropped Destiny 2 a couple of years ago, I've been craving a new multiplayer FPS experience that doesn't require a pre-made team for me to enjoy. I have gamer friends of all different skill levels, but I rarely play with them anymore because even when we are playing the same game, we're playing different games. You can call it SBMM, EOMM, team balancing, or whatever you want, but all these systems and algorithms do is divide the player base and force different experiences upon us, according to what type of player the artificial intelligence thinks you are in an effort to boost profit. These predatory matchmaking algorithms are not designed to make playing the game more fun. They're designed to boost engagement time and inflate daily user numbers for monetary gain. The more time a user spends playing one game, the more they're exposed to in-game marketing for vanity items and anything else the publisher can get away with stuffing into the cash shop. And that's why these free-to-play live service games have battle passes and special events. They want both your time and your money, and they have studied you nerds long enough to figure out how to take all of it. I've personally never been on board with having microtransactions in video games. When I pay full price for a game, I want full access to the entire game. And if the base game provides a satisfying and complete experience, I usually buy the DLC as a thank you to the development team. And then if that DLC also hits, I'll be there day one for the sequel. At least that's how I used to operate. I got burned pretty badly with the likes of Mortal Kombat 11 and Destiny 2. I grew up a fan of both Bungie and NetherRealm Studios, but their core identities have shifted so drastically that I don't even tell people I play those games anymore. I didn't even bother buying Mortal Kombat 1 because I could tell early on that game wasn't going to hit for me. And it sucks to be right sometimes, because I have a huge amount of respect for Ed Boon and his team with regards to what they have achieved over the years. Mortal Kombat 9 was a marvel of its time, and I respect what they try to do with the variation system in Mortal Kombat X, even though I still prefer the gameplay of MK9. MK11 though, name any of the new mechanics added to Mortal Kombat 11, and I'll tell you why it was bad. That game was stiffer than my meat in the morning after I roll over and grab a titty. And as for Bungie, I don't know what the fuck is going on over there, but whatever it is, simply isn't for me. I even had to put id Software on probation this year for selling me a kiddie version of the Doom Slayer. Doom the Dark Ages was supposed to be amazing. I know there are people out there who like the game, and for many the Dark Ages might be their first Doom experience. But after experiencing the highs of being asked to get good in Doom Eternal, and then ripping through its DLCs on Nightmare, I was extremely disappointed with how easily I was able to master the flow of combat, and trivialize encounters while playing the Dark Ages even on Ultra Nightmare. I don't really talk about this much because I don't know if this is a problem of my own making, or if the game actually sucks. I'm a much stronger player now than I was last year, so maybe it's mostly due to my perspective having shifted now that I've become a two-thumbed god. I say that because my favorite thing about Doom Eternal was how much challenge it provided me. Yeah, I bought Doom Eternal day one on PlayStation 4 when it first came out, and I was terrible at the game, but I still loved it. And up until my most recent playthrough, I had never beaten the game on Nightmare, because I just wasn't Slayer enough. I find most of the video games I play to be very easy to master after I invest a little time, and I end up steamrolling most games that I've seen some pretty popular streamers struggle with. I don't know if these dudes are hamming it up and getting owned by the AI on purpose for the entertainment value, or if I'm witnessing the limitations of someone's skill and their failure to adapt in real time, because the way some of these content creators be on stream just punching air is unbelievable at times. I'm cutting the game off before I spend 7 hours trying to beat one boss. You need to touch grass and go get some ass, my guy. Sleep on it or something, because if you're not just putting on a show for the fans, I would expect that after the first hour or two, any reasonable person would call time out and regroup. But that's just me. Maybe some of you feel differently and I just don't get it. But I wouldn't want to watch something like that. I beat difficult bosses on first attempts and set world records in games I barely even play. Maybe I'm just too good at this, and I should start pretending to struggle during my playthroughs so that more people can relate to the experience. But I'm a pretty bad actor, so we'll have to see about that one. If you've been following my channel for the past year or two, you'll have noticed that I already play most games that have difficulty choices on the highest difficulty available. The only exceptions being permadeath, or instances where the highest difficulty is specifically designed for a New Game Plus experience. The general artificial power fantasy does not satisfy me, so when I play single player games, I desire to be challenged in ways that would drive most people insane. For example, I'm playing through Ghost of Tsushima right now, and I've struggled to make it past the first 3 hours of this game for like 3 years. But I finally made it to Act 2 during my current playthrough, and the only reason I've been able to make it that far is because I want to understand what it is that people seem to love about this franchise before I take a look at Ghost of Yotei. Like, the story is cool or whatever, but the gameplay has not wowed me in any way so far. The best thing Ghost has going for it would be its cinematic presentation, as watching the story unfold through in-game cinematics takes me back to my childhood. I have fond memories of when my father and I would watch those old martial arts flicks where the voiceovers never matched the movements of the actor's mouth. So even though this game doesn't provide the level of challenge I typically look for, I still find enjoyment through progressing the story, and essentially making my own samurai movie. When it comes to combat and action games, I think God of War has spoiled me. I didn't realize how peak those games were until I started exploring other action-focused franchises, and was able to understand what it is that makes fighting as Kratos so uniquely satisfying. I only play God of War games on the most lethal of difficulties because I love how dangerous and aggressive the enemies can be. Sure, dying in 2 or 3 hits from attacks that are intentionally tuned to be unfair can be frustrating, but most games that are designed with fairness in mind are unable to appropriately challenge my skill set, while still providing a fun gaming experience for the casual or even most hobbyist gamers. I like games that require speed, precision, situational awareness, foresight, and dexterity. And even though I'm a fan of the Devil May Cry franchise, I don't often replay those games the way I can replay God of War every year, because the enemies don't feel threatening enough for me to care about getting good and mastering the mechanics of the game. I like that there are different flavors of action game for different types of gamer to enjoy. But even though I am a DMC fan and a Dante loyalist, I don't like when the enemies I'm facing are nothing more than combo food. Learning how to properly defend against incoming attacks is just as fun and sometimes more satisfying for me than launching a dude in the air and watching a bunch of special effects fill the screen. There are plenty of other activities I can enjoy where I just sit back and watch events unfold. But when I play video games, I'm looking for an actively engaging experience. I don't want to ever feel overpowered, because once my enemies stop challenging my skills, I get bored. That's part of the reason why I enjoy PvP and multiplayer games. Intelligent people have the ability to learn and adapt to any strategy I might employ against them, which in theory should constantly force me to vary my strategies and make adjustments based on how I'm reading my opponent. Something has definitely changed with the way video games are designed, but something is also different about the people who play them and the type of experience players expect to have. And whether you have the time for it or not, it doesn't seem like there are very many of us left who genuinely enjoy the process of getting good. I don't blame anyone for choosing easy mode if they understand the limits of their skill set, but if my opponents are not able to fight back, I end up feeling like a bully after I beat their ass. And because most of these nerds who only game online don't know what actual skill looks like, they run from rematches after they lose, and a lot of times even when they win, if they didn't win by a large enough margin. I've even been accused of cheating by some of the thumbless, because previously, they've never even had the opportunity to face someone of my skill. I know many of you all feel me when I say this, but algorithmic matchmaking ruined the online multiplayer experience. Destiny 2 PvP died because they didn't want skilled players to have fun. Black Ops 6 multiplayer fucking sucks because they prioritize similar skill in all their lobbies, regardless of ping. I hate playing Tekken 8 in its current state, because offense is stupidly powerful and easy to initiate. It makes me wonder why anyone who is not a professional would bother to play online video games competitively or enter ranked game modes, when the quality of your gaming experience literally declines the better you become at the game. I began studying this phenomenon a few years ago, once I realized I was having more fun running solo and competitive multiplayer games than I did queuing up with friends. We don't all share the same skill sets or level of investment in every game we might play together, but modern matchmaking doesn't care about any of that. These predatory matchmaking algorithms care more about segregating the sweats from the thumbless than they do about making sure the game is fun and playable for the people who regularly play their games. It's all about money, which is why Black Ops 7's entire marketing strategy is based on the removal of SBMM from public matchmaking. It seems like gamers have finally seen the light and are done letting the predatory matchmaking algorithms control our online experiences. But until Black Ops 7 has been out long enough to confirm that skill-based matchmaking is in fact not a factor for public matchmaking, I won't believe it. It's a shame because playing in that beta was so much fun. I thought I was going to absolutely hate the wall jump mechanic in Black Ops 7, but it actually feels good, and I can say the additional mobility enhanced the fun factor of playing the game. I'm not a COD god or anything, but I might become one after Black Friday when the game inevitably goes on sale for $30. And I think you're a fool if you pay full price for a yearly franchise that has a pattern of going on sale just a month or two after release. I don't think the day one COD experience is all that important unless you're a content creator. Casuals should just wait and see before wasting money on these cash grabs masquerading as video games. I'll probably talk about that more in a future video, but I'm gonna have to wrap things up right here. There are only a few hours left before Ninja Gaiden 4 releases, and I still have not made up my mind whether or not I'm gonna play it. On the one hand, the philosophy and game design for Ninja Gaiden is everything I've said I wanted in my action games. The difficulty is at times unfairly difficult, and the enemies are relentless. The presentation has its own distinct flair, and mastering the combat requires savage precision. But even though I couldn't give less of a fuck about the story, it really bothers me that Ryu has been relegated to a side character in his own franchise. I didn't buy DMC5 when it first came out, because I didn't want to play as anyone besides Dante, and sometimes Virgil. And if Sony tries to sideline Kratos in the next God of War game, I don't know if I'll be able to get on board with that. We'll see, because when I say it out loud like that, it sounds like a really stupid reason to not play a game that I'm very likely to enjoy. But for real, I thank each and every one of you for your continued support, and let me give a special shout out to my first channel member, Tway. You a real one, my G. I wasn't even gonna ask for donations or paid subscriptions from any of you, because I wasn't sure of what type of content I want to make that was worth selling to you all. I'm a gamer before I'm a content creator, and unlike most of these perpetually online nerds, I actually have a life outside of video games that I enjoy. But I see a void in the gaming space here that needs to be filled, and I've got more than enough meat to get the job done, so here I am. Anyway, I thank all of you for watching, and I hope more of you will join in on these conversations. I'm not very active on social media, but maybe it's time I get to work on changing that. So, if you still rock with Twitter or are active on Instagram, look me up, say hello, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, before you go, make sure to like the video, but only if you actually did, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm one of the best you're ever gonna see do it. And if you want tips on how to enhance the quality of your own gaming experience, I am happy to answer any questions you might have. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day though. I'm out.